Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tax 101, Understanding Your Taxes. I am Kaylee Rhodes, the Community Engagement Specialist for Lewis County, and I am joined today with Candy Akin, who is the Director at Real Property. Thank you for joining us today, Candy.
Thanks for having me, Kaylee.
Okay, so let's just get started. So what is a tax parcel?
A tax parcel is a lot or piece of property which has a unique identification number known as the tax map number. The tax parcel is comprised of a section, block, and lot, and the town assessor places a value on each parcel. The section and block can range between multiple properties, but the lot is individual to your specific parcel.
So how is the tax levy determined?
The county, towns, villages, schools, fire departments, etc., are all considered taxing jurisdictions. Each year, these jurisdictions determine an amount needed to support their annual budget expenses, less any revenues that they anticipate receiving. Municipalities are required to hold public budget meetings or hearings, which are open for public comment and questions. And that's one thing that I encourage people to attend if they're able to, because you'll have a much better understanding of what is needed to run a municipality. Once the budgets are approved, the amounts needed to be raised by property tax becomes the tax levy.
So can you touch on what exactly the county taxes are?
So once the tax levy is determined, the amount to be collected in each town is apportioned. So for instance, the amounts apportioned in each town is different because it is based on the full value of all parcels within that town. There is one tax rate for all parcels in that town, regardless of the property class. So if you're in a town and there's commercial property and residential properties, they will all have the same county tax rate. However, the tax rate can be different in each township because it is determined by the town's equalization rate. The reason it is done this way is to ensure that the county tax on a parcel in one town is the same as the county tax on a parcel with the same full value in a different town.
So now let's touch on how town taxes work.
So like county taxes, town taxes are determined similarly to the county taxes. However, town taxes do not have to apportion it amongst different townships. They do have to, though, apportion it out between properties that are inside a village and parcels that are outside of the village. So if you live in a town where there is a village, you will pay a town-wide on all parcels in that town and a town outside tax on all parcels outside of the village limits. For example, a property outside of a village will have a town-wide tax and a town outside tax on their bill. If there's a property inside a village, it will only have a town-wide tax on the bill. Town taxes are a separate line item on the county and town tax that comes out each January 1st. And as you can see from the illustration on the right, this is an average of all of the towns of how their town budget lines are distributed. So obviously highway expenses is the largest one, and then general operating expenses followed by fire protection, and then special district taxes are what makes up town budgets.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about those special district taxes. What exactly are they?
Sure. So town taxes also include a special district tax, such as a fire department tax, a water or sewer or garbage tax. Those are all special district taxes. And those differ in the sense that those special district taxes are only charged to parcels within that district or benefiting from that district. Properties within a special district boundary are subject to taxes and or fees imposed by that district. So, for example, fire departments, everybody outside of a village is going to have a fire department tax on their tax bill. Parcels within a village do not have a fire district tax on their bill because their fire tax is included within their village taxes. Same as if you have a garbage district in a town, but you are not within a garbage district, then you wouldn't have that added on your bill where somebody that is in that district would have it. So again, special district taxes are only charged to parcels benefiting from that district.
So now we're going to talk a little bit about the county and the town tax schedule and how that is laid out.
Sure. So county taxes are prepared in the real property tax office, and they are mailed out on the last business day of December each year. January 31st is the deadline to pay first installments, or if you don't want to pay any penalty or fee, you have to pay your tax in full by January 31st. After that, a 1% penalty is added each month starting February 1st and each month thereafter until the bill is paid in full. If paying by installments, however, no additional interest accrues between the first payment and the second installment payment. Between April 1st and May 1st each year, tax collectors are required by law to mail notices of unpaid taxes to all properties that have not paid their taxes in full. So this will also include people who have not made their second installment payment. Taxes paid after the date of the notice must include the $1 or the $2 notice fee, whichever it is in your town. May 31st is the deadline to pay the second installment. If you pay your second installment after the notice fee date, you also have to add the $1 or $2 to the amount you pay in your second installment. Taxes are collected by the town tax collector until May 31st each year. After that, they're returned to the county as delinquent taxes, and a 5% return fee is added to all amounts due. Taxes would then need to be paid to the Lewis County Treasurer, and again are considered delinquent, and the county treasurer will send out delinquent tax notices to all owners.
So now we are going to move on to the frequently asked questions portion. So these are questions that the staff and Candy and the real property office, as well as the tax collectors, get yearly. So we wanted to highlight some of these questions. Maybe it's one that you might have.
So the most common one is, why did my taxes go up? And there are several reasons that you may see an increase in your tax amounts. A few of the most common ones are an increase in an assessed value, an increase in the county, town, school, or village budget, or if you didn't pay your school or village taxes to the tax collector, those could also be added onto your county town bill, as well as any unpaid water or sewer bills.
Okay, so why is my school and village tax added to the county or town tax bill?
So each year, villages collect taxes from June 1st to October 31st, and schools collect taxes from September 1st to October 31st at the local tax collection office. If taxes due to either a village or a school have not been paid to that tax collector, those taxes are returned to the county treasurer on November 1st, and then the treasurer's office will collect payment from that date until the day before Thanksgiving. If the tax is not paid by that day before Thanksgiving, if tax is not received, then Those taxes will then be added on to the county town tax bill as a re-levied tax.
So why can't I pay my first installment after January 31st?
The Board of Legislators adopted a local law authorizing property owners to pay by installments, and 16 of our 17 towns have adopted um, local laws or passed resolutions granting this. The dates are specific in the local law that the legislators passed, stating that the first installment must be paid by January 31st and the second installment must be paid by May 31st.
So why are the fees so high for making an online payment?
The county and towns and villages contract with credit card companies to accept online payments. This is a voluntary contract that they have separately outside of the tax bill themselves. The fees charged are not paid to the county or to the towns or villages. This fee is sort of a service fee that is retained by the credit card companies for processing these payments. The county and the town do not set these rates. They are set by the credit card company themselves, and generally they're an industry-wide, they all stay within the standard range.
So why can't I pay by installments online?
Well, currently the collection software that we use is not equipped to break down the total tax due by installments. This is being looked into, however, and we are hopeful to be able to make changes to allow for this in the near future. So stay tuned and look for updates on your bill.
Can you explain the difference between a postmark date and a postage meter date?
Definitely. So postmarks are accepted as the date of payment in most cases. Only postmarks can be accepted and used as the date of payment. Many times collectors receive a payment in the mail that has a postage meter date, and then the postmark is different. They have to go by the postmark date, and the postmark can only come from the post office, not from a privately owned postage meter. So if you are mailing your tax bill out and it is close to the deadline, say January 31st, for example, you're going to want to make sure that not only is it posted for that date, but it also is received by the post office by that date and has a postmark on it. The exception to this rule is for the period when the county treasurer is collecting payments. They do not accept postmarks, and payments must be received by the day before Thanksgiving in their office for that to stop the delinquent tax from being added on to the county town tax.
So if I got married or divorced, how do I change my name on my tax bill?
So we request that a form be completed and a copy of either your marriage certificate or the portion of your divorce agreement that specifies that a different name can be used. In most cases, that is in your divorce that says somebody can go back to their prior name if they so choose. The form that is required can be found online. It's a fillable PDF form on the Lewis County website under real property. So the form can be filled out and submitted back to us electronically, along with either the marriage certificate or the portion of your divorce decree. But keep in mind, Kaylee, that this will not change your name on your deed. It is only for tax roll or assessment roll purposes. If you want your name changed on your deed, a new deed will have to be filed with the county clerk's office.
So how do I remove a deceased owner from my bill?
Well, this will depend on how title is held in for the property. If the relationship of the owners is husband and wife, in most cases, we will only need a copy of the death certificate, as well as the name change form referred to on the previous slide. Again, the form can be obtained on the Lewis County website under the real property page. However, if the deceased owner owns a share in the property, such as a tenant in common, where multiple owners each own a share, that in those cases, we cannot remove the owner. We can only identify the owner as deceased on our property record. But in those situations, the only way to remove that owner is to file a new deed in the Lewis County Clerk's office.
And we touched on this already, but can you give a little more information about what the notice fee is?
Sure. Town tax collectors are required by law to send a notice to property owners who have not yet paid their taxes in full. The notice fee is allowed between $1 and $2, and that is indicated on your tax bill. This amount varies by town, with the maximum amount being $2. All towns within Lewis County send out notices between April 1st and May 1st. If you've paid the first installment but have not paid your second installment by the notice date, you will need to include the notice fee in your second installment payment. If you have yet to pay your bill in full at all, the notice fee is included in the total amount due that is on your taxes.
Well, thank you so much, Candy, for kind of touching on how to understand your taxes. If our listeners have a question that was not answered in this presentation, please feel free to reach out to the Lewis County Real Property Tax Office. Their phone number is 315-376-5336, and they are located in the courthouse on the first floor. Thank you so much for explaining everything, Candy. It was great having you.
Thank you for having me.